Welcome back to Business Live. First up, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Gmpc, has still not received payment for the $50 million loan advance to the Ministry of Finance in 2014 for the construction of the Western Corridor roads in their Turbo Gas Processing Plant enclave. The money was expected to have been repaid in 3 months after disbursement. This was disclosed in the 2021 semi-annual report of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee. Here's a report. The issue has been a concern to the Public Interest and Accountability Committee since the deadline for repayment has elapsed without any intervention from the Ministry of Finance to settle the debt. In PIAC's engagement with Parliament over the last 2 years, the legislature directed that the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation should meet to resolve the outstanding issue. According to the GNPC, the Minister for Energy requested an intervention from the Minister of Finance to assist in the settlement of monies owed GNPC by government and other energy sector agencies. This was contained in a letter to the Ministry of Finance in February 2021. However, according to the ministry, it is yet to receive the said letter as claimed by the Ministry of Energy to inform the appropriate action on the fund. Prior to this, the Ministry of Finance in 2018 directed GMPC to expunge the amount from its books on the grounds that per the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Act 2017, Act 947, the Minister for Finance is empowered to cap all earmarked funds at 25% of tax revenue. Meanwhile, PIAC's semi-annual report has also revealed that the country's total petroleum agreement as at the time of preparing the report stands at 18. And there'll be more from the semi-annual report of the PIAC in the coming bulletins. Do stay tuned for that. Now, proposals to increase the current retirement age from 60 years and SNIT contributions from 18% may soon get the required regulatory attention. This is because the National Pensions Regulatory Authority is awaiting the reconstitution of its board to look into these matters. The proposals have been influenced by concerns about the sustainability of the pension schemes going forward. However, any final action will be dependent on agreement between government and its social partners. NS Amati Vondi is Director of Planning, Research and Monitoring at the authority.
The policy-making body of the regulator is the board of directors. Unfortunately, we haven't had our board in place as at now. The board was dissolved with a change in government. My hope is that immediately they come in, these are issues that will be looked at quite critically, not just at the regulators level, but we'll have to liaise with the governing body of SNIT itself and SNIT management to see how quickly all these matters can be resolved. I can bet you it will be addressed.
There are issues about their investment, there are issues about...
all issues to do with their governance, investments, administrative costs, everything that has to do with them will be looked at and will be addressed.
Let's talk about even the contributions and whether it should be reviewed as in the amount repaid. There's even talk about pension age as well. These things, has it come to the regulator and what are you doing about it?
Yeah, that's precisely the point that I'm making. I made earlier, that these are major policy issues and the regulators governing body will have to have a look at it. These are not things that management on its own can begin to issue instructions to a regulated entity, that's SNIT, for that purpose. My hope is that immediately the board comes into place, all these things are going to have a look at. At the end of it all, why does the regulator exist? It's to protect the interest of the contributor.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has given assurance it is in a strong position to stabilize the Ghana cedi. It's therefore advising businesses not to panic. The local currency has come under some sustained pressure over the past 2 months, declining in value by almost 2% to the dollar. But the central bank says its reserves have hit record levels of $11.4 billion as of the end of August. Stephen Opata is head of financial markets at the Bank of Ghana.
The governor said we've seen an increase in imports a little bit, and as the economy recovers, you expect that. But we've also mentioned that we are in very good grounds. We have adequate reserves. 5.2 months of reserves is a lot. This, I believe, one of the highest I've seen. And therefore, we have the buffers, and as you've seen, we are increasing our supply to the market. In the past 2 auctions, the last auction we did 50 million. Previously, our target was 25 million. And the 2 sessions before that, we did 75 million each. You can see that that's stabilized trends, and we are anchoring the banks and their clients' expectations that we have adequate reserves to meet the increased imports we are seeing.
If this demand or requests are backed by real demand, you see that the gap from what you are supplying, i.e. to what the demand, is still very, very wide. Do you think that going forward, you find a way to meet halfway the request if these are backed by real demand from banks and businesses?
So what's happening is that as we are meeting these demands by the auctions, we are anchoring their expectations. So they are using the auctions to meet their flows. So it means that we are doing, for example, less of bilateral sales, direct sales to the market. So we have said that we're not going to use all our FS reserves to the auctions. There are other needs for the country. But what is important is that it's increasing the liquidity in the markets. If you talk to even bank clients, they are really using this channel, and I think it's good.
All right, Stephen Opata, the head of financial markets at the Bank of Ghana, now managing director of EcoBank, Daniel Saki, has indicated that the full recovery of the banking sector may hinge on improved loan repayment and business pickup. The banking sector is still struggling in some areas despite strong growth in profit. This can be linked to the effects of the second wave of COVID-19 on the sector. But Mr. Saki tells Joy Business the outlook seems favorable.
I have to confirm things have turned out better than we expected, but let us not rush ahead of the curve in saying that all is over yet. I think that there is a second wave, just like COVID, there's a second wave of the impact that we are yet to see. You realize that during the period we gave moratorium on loans to clients both in the informal and formal sector. We gave to individuals, corporates. Now that the moratorium period is over, people are now retooling their business, they are restarting, and we will be able to determine the actual impact once we've seen the restart of loan repayment. So yes, it's better than expected, but there's still some way to go. But we are very confident with the measures that have been put in place. The other issue also that gives us greater confidence is the onset of vaccination. You recall that a couple of weeks or months ago there was no vaccine, but at least today we can confirm that there is some level of vaccination ongoing. And the more people get vaccinated, the more we can move closer to that herd immunity that we are all looking for. And that can then assure us of a restart of some sort of normalcy or a return to normalcy, which will then be able to support that the recovery is really permanent and not a temporary one.
You talked about normalcy. Some would say that you think the time is right now to review those moratoriums, even together with those regulatory reliefs, because some are saying that, listen, the economy, the numbers of the economy is picking up. In other economies as well, they've started reviewing some of these things. US has even signaled that the tapering would actually be reviewed in November. Do you think that in Ghana, we are ready, the time is ready for us to review some of these moratoriums, or we still hold on for a while?
I think that's an area that the central bank is watching closely. We have continued our engagement with them, and as I said earlier on, there are still the secondary impact which we've not yet seen, and that is whether those who have benefited from that moratorium will be able to fully restart loan repayments and continue for the tenure of the loan. Because if you have a 5-year loan and repayment has just started, you will never be able to determine if that recovery is permanent.
In other news tonight, the new board of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Gpha, has indicated its commitment to ensuring that the country's seaports remain efficient. Board Chair Isaac Osei says the ports play a significant role in the country's economy as well as the sub-region. He assures that Gpha will continue to provide the needed environment and facilitate trade. Isaac Osei disclosed this after a familiarization tour of the Tema port by the board. There is more in this report.
The familiarization tour and subsequent orientation form part of the plans to update members of the board of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority's operations and activities. Board Chair Isaac Osei sees the need to address equipment challenges at the ports. The board will also visit Takoradi Port and later Keta Port project sites as part of the orientation. According to Isaac Osei, this will give members a deeper understanding of the current position of the authority and its strategic direction.
At the end of the day, Gpha is placed in a position where it has to facilitate international trade between Ghana and other countries. What is becoming increasingly clear to us is that there are a lot of other countries who also use the services of this port. And that must have implications for revenue generation. It also, I think, will help position Ghana as a gateway, not just to the sub-region, but also as a transit point for other countries, both in the south and north of Tema.
Meanwhile, Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Lugoji, says the authority is making a deliberate attempt to improve its capacity.
Well, I think the business itself is growing. Container traffic is growing, and we are glad about that. It shows that there's a lot of confidence in Ghana's economy. We're just interacting with MPS. You notice the traffic is not just growing for Ghanaian-bound cargo, but also transshipment to other countries and also transit to the landlord country, which means that there's a lot of trust in our corridor and our country. And we're excited about that as a port authority. So we are only reviewing our plans to be able to ensure that we improve on our equipment capacity, we improve on our human resource capability, we improve on all other arrangements, not just GPHA, but also all our stakeholders, customs, ICOMs, all the other parties that are needed to help us.
The board is expected to provide ideas which will help propel GPHA to a new height.
You're watching Business Live. Still to come, Spanish company Inside Foundation to invest 120 million cedis in Ghana's tourism sector.
We have our friends from the Spanish Embassy and Casa Africa Inside Foundation to support us to do that. So this agreement is going to help us build the capacity of 120,000 people in the tourism value chain in Ghana.
And welcome back to Business Live. Regional Director of CATS International, Apia Kusiadumako, has called for more efforts to be channeled towards improving service delivery in the public sector. There is widespread dissatisfaction with quality of services provided, especially by government institutions, which has a negative economic impact. As customer service is highlighted this week, Mr. Kusiadumako says public sector institutions should consider breaking the cycle of poor service delivery.
Service delivery is very, very poor in Ghana. When you go to the ministries or agency to do something, it is as if you are going to beg them. You write a letter, you send a letter to an agency, you will never get a response. You follow up, you cannot even trace your letter or your file. And I think that is very, very bad. With all the resources that the state has, I think that the state, the government machinery, should be able to do better than what it's doing. And surprisingly, when you go to Ghana missions abroad, the same behavior that the public sector acts behave is what you find at the Ghana missions abroad. Just pretend that you are calling the Ghana mission, any Ghana mission, and leave a voicemail, whether a voice message, whether anybody would return your call. It is very, very on the side of government. And always we know that about 2/3 of the internally generated taxes here are used to pay public sector workers, and the service that they deliver, they deliver service all right, but their relationship with customers, their relationship with consumers, in terms of responding to emails, correspondence, and other phone calls, is very, very bad. And I think this year, that we should rather focus on the public sector delivery. Of course, the private sector, there's a lot of competition in the private sector. So you see the private sector, you see one firm doing better than the other because that firm is afraid that if it doesn't step up well, the competition might, service quality or how they even interface with their customers might cause them to lose a business.
All right, and so his thoughts there, Kusia Piadmarco, on customer service and getting customer service right. That will be the focus of our weekly online engagement on Joy Business Social. Executive Director of Customer Service Africa, Priscilla Wellington Asante, President of Customer Experience Professionals Association, Esther Dukwa Ofozuhene, and CEO of 1115 Restaurant, Harrison Matthew, will be joining me for a conversation which will be streamed across our social media platforms tonight at 6 p.m. Do make a date. Okay, so do make a date in about 30 minutes time for Joy Business Social. To other news, the tourism sector will benefit from a 120 million Ghana cedi funding from Inside Foundation, a Spanish company promoting entrepreneurship. The money, which will come in the form of a loan, will promote entrepreneurship within the tourism ecosystem. To this end, an MOU has been signed between the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and Inside Foundation. According to the Tourism Minister, Dr. Ibrahim Mohamed Awal, this investment will go to support the tourism ecosystem and enable the country achieve its target of $5 billion annually from the sector.
Tourism, culture and creative arts sectors are among the most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The abrupt drop in revenues made industry players financially unstable. To support the value chain, the sector ministry signed a memorandum of understanding with Inside Foundation, a Spanish company promoting entrepreneurship. 120 million cedis will be allocated to 120,000 people along the value chain. The agreement is aimed at improving entrepreneurial skills and supporting SMEs in the tourism sector. Here's Sector Minister Dr. Ibrahim Mohamed Awal.
1 in every 4 jobs in Ghana is created from the tourism sector. We want to ensure that 2 from every jobs in Ghana is created by the tourism sector. That is our challenge. We want to create 1 million jobs by 2024 from the tourism sector and to have $5 billion from next year as receipts from international tourism. That is our target. To do that, we need to build the capacity with operators within the sector. That is why we have our friends from the Spanish Embassy and South Africa, Interconnectivity Foundation, to support us to do that. So this agreement is going to help us build the capacity of 120,000 people in the tourism value chain in Ghana.
International Affairs Manager at Inside Foundation, Mar Casanova Lawrence, says Ghana is among countries her outfit looks to invest in to help promote entrepreneurship and tourism across the globe. She went on to highlight details of the agreement.
We are going to develop 2 more training courses here in Accra in both areas. First, in training for trainers, because we think it's very important, training for trainers, because it's a way that you can, retain all the skills and all the knowledge, so that this training can be done all in the future. And it's very important, the training for people who can remain here and keep on training. And also we are going to work on training for entrepreneurs, focus on the tourism sector.
Spanish Ambassador to Ghana, Javier Gutierrez, stated that this MOU is a step to reinforcing Spain's partnership with Ghana.
When I had the honor of presenting my letters of credence to His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, I told him that we wanted to reinforce our partnership and extend it into new areas of collaboration, for instance, tourism. Now we see that we are honoring our words and we're putting into action our commitment to reinforce our cooperation with Ghana, in this case in the field of tourism.
All right, an important story to conclude with: the 3 shortlisted bidders for the Ghana-Burkina Faso Interconnectivity Railway project have submitted final proposals for the over 1,000-kilometer project. The 3 international firms, China Engineering Company, African Global Group and Frontline Advisors, will be competing for the contract, which is expected to commence in the first quarter of 2022. Minister for Railways Development John Peter Amewu assured them of government support and transparency in choosing the most competitive bidder. Here's more.
The project from the Tama port to the capital of Burkina Faso is aimed at connecting the 2 African countries and promoting intra-African trade. After submitting the proposals, both governments will set up a committee to scrutinize and make decision on the best choice for the project. At a ceremony to officially open the proposals, Minister for Railways John Peter Amewu assured the government of Ghana is very committed to the project and will ensure that all timelines are met.
I want to assure the bidders that as we started from beginning, the promise that we told everybody that submit bid is the word transparency. And between the 2 countries, we want to assure you that the evaluation process will come out in a very transparent manner. We are looking for the best evaluated competitive bidder. We are not looking for friends. We are not looking for people who, for some reason, we know or we don't know. We are looking for somebody that can deliver value for the benefit of the two countries. And I can assure the bidders that that confidence and trust, which began with this process, of course, will end with the process. The word.
And we'll bring you more on that story on JoyNews Prime. Thanks for watching Business Live, everyone. My name is Darryl Kwao. Goodbye.